Jerry Mallory here for SB Nation and PrivateDetroit.com. There's been a lot going on, although the Lions have not been playing on the field. A lot of off-the-field activity has been occurring. We're here to talk about it. I have a bone to pick with two guys. You know who they are. It's Titus Young. It's Nick Fairley, 2011 draftees, striking again with negative things off the field. We're going to touch on both of them, but today's show, we're going to touch on Titus Young first. Don't worry, Nick. We'll get to you later on in the week. Titus has an issue. He can't keep his hands to himself. Now, it's good to have hands when you're a receiver. You have to have a good pair of hands. But when it comes to hitting other people, obviously we have a problem. We saw a glimpse of this during the season. He hit an opponent when they went against New Orleans. Now, Titus not only hits a teammate, he hits a veteran in Louis Delmas, someone who's respected and loved on the team, one of the captains on defense. And not only does he hit one of the captains, one of the respected veterans, he sucker punches him. So Titus Young was not allowed to go to practice, to training with the team last week. Today, this week, he's back in the fold. He wasn't invited to go to Comerica Park with Calvin Johnson and the rest of the receivers. We have an issue. But when this happened, I decided to look into this deeper because this was the second time that Titus Young had struck, no pun intended. So we decided to look into it, and what we found was that this is not a rare occurrence. In fact, Titus Young has a history of hitting things. Yes, we have a short video segment entitled, Titus Young Likes to Hit Things. Let's take a look. In all seriousness, guys, this incident makes me think of a couple of things, a couple of scenarios. First and foremost, what is the future of Titus Young? We've heard everything from cut him to trade him, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not going that far. You know, if there's some discipline that has already been handed out, that's fine. If Schwartz, Mayhew, and company decide to hand out more discipline, I'm fine with that. But, you know, cutting bait with him at this point really doesn't make sense. First of all, he's a talented player. 6 touchdowns. You know, you hope you can work with him. He's young. He seems like he's going to be a perfect complement to what Calvin Johnson can bring, what hopefully Ryan Broyles can bring, what Nate Burleson has been bringing, whether he's in the slot, whether he's on the outside. We like his potential. If you cut him, I mean, you're just giving him up. I'm not sure of the cap ramifications of it. I'm sure it would not be good because he was an early round pick last year. If you trade him, what are you going to get for this guy? Someone that so far has been unproven, although he's shown glimpses. What, a 4th round pick, a 5th round pick, you're basically giving him away. So we can't do that. He's going to be here. You have to stick with him. Now, if the occurrences keep piling up, if one more happens, then another one, yeah, you have to start looking at ways in which you can eradicate yourself of this player. But for now, we're stuck with him, whether good or bad. I think ultimately it will be good on the field, but he's going to have to show a lot. It's time for him to grow up. It's time for him to get out of that mentality. You know, he's a smaller receiver. Maybe he has that Napoleon complex. I don't know what his deal is, but he needs to get it together because he's a talent on the field. Yet and still, if he keeps going the way he is, he won't be around for long. Not just in the Honolulu blue and silver, he won't be in the NFL for long. It can happen just that quick. If you keep being a bonehead and you keep doing foolish things, your talent after a while gets overlooked because now you're a detriment to the team. How many of us are now a little bit more relieved, maybe happy, or / understand the Ryan Broyles pick? Now, Mayhew didn't pick Broyles thinking that Titus Young was going to sucker punch someone, but he picked him knowing that we would need a receiver. Burleson's getting older. I don't think Burleson will be here next year. And knowing that, hey, Titus Young has had a history of issues. He punched someone. He's had a little spouts at Boise State. You know, is this insurance to Titus Young? No, I'm not saying that. But when you have an aging receiver and a young receiver that has been a little shaky, why not bring in someone who you have fallen in love with because of his college career and you did all the research and you were clear with his injuries? Why not? So if Titus stays, that's great. We have 3 young receivers for the future. If he goes, then the Ryan Broyles pick is even more important and it's more beneficial. So there's that. Titus Young, get your head, out of the place where the sun doesn't shine. Start playing football. Stop punching people. Use your hands. Use them for good. Use them to catch the football, not to hit people, okay? That's going to do it for today, guys. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave a comment, subscribe. Later on this week, we'll talk about the big man, Nick Fairley, getting a little tipsy, driving a little fast. We'll get to you. But until then, this has been Jerry Mallory. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. And as always, this has been brought to you by SB Nation and PrideofDetroit.com.